I miss using this gun.
Alright, it's 6 o'clock. Let's get started. Today, we don't have as much on the lineup as last time. We also don't have Daniel or Frank here. But, I basically want to go over how we started in Airsoft. I mean, I started playing a long time ago, 1998, I think it was, when I got first introduced to Airsoft. You started...
I believe around 94, 95.
94, 95. So, why don't we start with you, Bob? I want to know what you were doing at the time that you got into Airsoft and what was really the draw that pulls you in.
Actually, a very interesting story. I'd been playing paintball for a number of years because I had...
How many is a number?
I would say like 3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah. I was actually, my main field was Target Zone Paintball, and it's actually the place where Line Claws 1 had their first game.
Really? I thought it was in Tehachapi.
You are absolutely incorrect. No, it was right on Pozo Creek at Target Zone Paintball. And the interesting thing is that I was the only player there that had played the paintball course before, so I was running around with McKnight, like giving him all the info on the field, especially during the night game. But how I got into it is I was playing paintball for a long time, and I'd seen like these paintball guns that had magazines. I would do full auto. Look, I'd just seen Starship Troopers, I think, and I was like, "Oh, it's so awesome! I wish something was more realistic than paintball." And then in this magazine, this paintball magazine, Action Pursuit Games, I saw an ad for airsoft guns. I was like, "That is exactly what I'm looking for." So I searched around online. I found this website in China. You know, I couldn't find anything good for what I wanted, so I actually purchased this KSC G18C. It basically is a Glock, or a G model of gun that you can switch to fire semi-automatic or fully automatic.
Well, I think at that time, you're talking about the late 90s, you could only buy airsoft guns overseas.
Correct.
I mean, there probably were United States-based retailers, but there weren't very many.
No,
they weren't very big.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, I really couldn't find anything in the U.S. I could get, and that was kind of my first experience getting stuff shipped from China. It's like, oh, sweet, it's such a low price. $100 on shipping. God dang it. So I got this, and immediately after I got it, I was playing around having some good target practice. I realized I was like, shoot, no one I know has an airsoft gun.
Yeah.
Maybe if I get like this MP5, which I've always wanted as well, I can have some games, convince my friends to play with me in Airsoft. And I got the MP5, Classic Army version 1 MP5, rather heavy, not exactly malfunction prone. Well, it was kind of malfunction prone, but that said, I took that out to play with my friends, and all of them really loved it. They're like, "Wow, this is so much cooler than paintball." And probably about 2 months later, every one of my friends at the time, 6 of them.
I want to know, how old were you at this time? You're talking about late 90s.
94, 96. Yeah. I was probably in 6th or 7th grade.
Okay, so you're still kind of in junior high school.
Yeah.
Going into high school, and that's when you kind of started playing Airsoft. At what time did you get your MP5? Was it kind of like an immediate thing, or was it like you had to save up for a while and get it?
It was probably like 3 months after, because I remember I bought this with my own money, and then I begged for an airsoft gun from my parents for Christmas, and they're like, "Bob, you already have shotguns, those are real guns, what do you need this stupid thing for?" So once I got shut down, I was like, Grandma, who loves she was a sharpshooter with shotguns, so she was like, "Absolutely, what gun do you want?" So she was all over for it. She was like, "Do you want the light machine gun?" I was like, "Nah, it's too expensive." So
you passed up an LMG for an MP5.
The thing is, I really wanted an MP5. I'd just seen, or maybe I'd seen previous Clear and Present Danger, and one of the guys in that had a suppressed MP5.
Yeah.
I wanted that so bad.
Yeah, those are really cool.
Yeah, so my grandma was all on board. She got me that. Took my friends out to play a couple of games. We just switch off, and we had so much fun. Yeah, I just almost never looked back. Like, I've played paintball like 2 or 3 times since.
Okay, so you're in high school now. You've got an MP5. You've got a Glock 18C.
By high school, I actually had a TM M16A2.
Okay, so you acquired quite a few airsoft guns in a pretty short amount of time then, I guess? Or?
Probably like a year later I had the M16, but I actually bought that at Operation Iron Angel because, I'd had the MP5, it was so heavy, I was like, God, can't I just get something a little lighter?
Yeah.
And they were actually selling guns at the field. So I bought it right there and used it that same day in the operation.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool.
Walter was there, I think.
Yeah, he was there, actually. I heard you guys talking about that.
That airsoft operation is so old, the video for it came out on VHS.
Really?
Yeah.
What year was that game?
Oh, shoot, I don't remember the exact year. I think I was probably like 97, 96.
Man, I didn't even start playing until a year after that, and I was introduced to it from my cousin, who we just had a family gathering. It was just kind of a casual thing with the family, and then my cousin's like, "Tim, come here. I got something to show you." And it was literally like, almost like a drug deal, like, "Check out what I got in the bag." He opens up his backpack and he pulls out this Springer P226, which is probably made by UHC or something
Yeah.
like that. And I was like, oh man, it's the greatest thing ever. You have to cock it every time, and it's like just the satisfaction of being able to rack the gun was really cool. Because I think like prior to that, like the only thing that we had to play with was like like Nerf guns, not realistic at all. Like water guns kind of looked like guns. I do not 45. F you. Water guns like looked like guns, but obviously like you couldn't do anything with it. You just had like squirt guns and stuff like that. So I mean that was how I got introduced to it. I had to start out with a Springer. I mean that was even my cousin's gun. I had to go find my own Springer, which was damn near impossible to find.
It's weird because like I bought Springers after I got started, but they're still really fun and they can sting a little bit.
Oh yeah, they do. I mean, when the very first ever game I actually played, versus anyone in an Airsoft game, it was me, my cousin, a couple of his friends. We all had either Springers or these little mini AEGs.
Oh yeah.
I had a 1/16 size Glock, not Glock, an
AUG. Yeah,
it was an AUG, and so the scope on the AUG wasn't functional. Obviously, that's where you put the BBs in, but the vertical grip on the AUG actually worked, and so I had a little AUG. We were just like shooting each other inside the house.
Inside the house.
Yeah, inside and outside the house. Because these things only shoot like about 125 or something like that with .12s.
Yeah.
So they don't shoot very hard, and they're just kind of fun to mess around with.
It's funny because I remember actually testing out my MP5 inside the house, and I guess I wasn't looking where I was aiming, and I hit a painting inside our house, and I went up close. I was like, oh, sweet, it's a dent right in the middle of the flower arrangement. No one had any idea, still to this day. But, wow.
Well, now you're just announcing it on the internet, bud.
Well, my mom doesn't watch this live show. She didn't even know how to text. So, I don't know. I would highly suggest not airsofting inside a house.
No, I mean, obviously, but these things, we didn't know any better. I was only 11 years old, or 12 years old at the time. And the same thing with those old Springer pistols. They don't shoot very hard, and they shoot 1.2s anyway.
No,
so.
but I mean, you can use those at fields as like a surrender weapon. I've had friends that shoot people with like $1,000 guns with a spring pistol. It's really embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, we've always kind of joked about, with the guys on Blackwatch, that we should go to a field with like a neon pink or neon green gun, like a 2-point sling, just like look all retarded, and then once the game starts, start kicking it.
Yeah. Hello Kitty M4 or something.
Yeah, something like that. Just something that looks
If
really.
If you're gonna do that, you gotta take a Lancer Tactical with all the Magic Bot parts inside of it.
Dude, yeah,
that would
totally.
just be so amazing. Like, what do you got there? Oh, I got Lancer Tactical. Yeah, I got a GI. It's a really good deal. Oh yeah, you're gonna have a really fun time,
Start
man.
kicking
It's
ass.
fully
No,
loaded
the thing
on
about
internals.
Lancer Tactical though is that it's still a black gun. Like I think it'd be really funny to have a clear
ostentatious,
gun. Yeah, like plastic barrel, plastic hop, like all that stuff. But like drop a regular version 2 gearbox in it.
Just totally deck it out. Like
Yeah.
have a dual sector gear built by like just the most legit setup you can get with a cross.
Even one of these would be cool. These like me. Like these things have like they shoot 3 rounds a minute.
They've made a Hannah Montana M4.
That's amazing.
Does it come with a tiny backpack?
I don't know.
I hope so.
Who did that?
We should make a Dora the Explorer M4.
G&G has the Femme Fatale, but that's not a Hannah Montana.
I actually
it's just
like
a
the Femme
general-
Fatale. It's a pretty cool gun. Pretty solid.
It's an M4, yeah. It's a combat machine, or not a combat machine, but
Yeah, well.
I don't know. It's one of their affordable lineup of guns. So, okay, Lion Claws 1 was in 2002. What did you do after that?
Actually, at Line Claws 2002, I just got my first grenade launcher.
Oh, yeah?
I was very happy with myself.
What kind of grenade launcher was it?
Oh,
One that shoots grenades?
yeah, I don't remember the brand. I just remember there was a tech on field that helped me put it on because I had no idea. But remember, I was a squad leader at Line Claws 1, and one of my squad mates was trying to help me figure out how the grenades work. I remember putting a shell in there and then putting the tube down. It was like, boom! Oh! Take cover. But, this... It was just pretty bad. Yeah, shoot. What are you looking for?
I don't know. Is this accurate? We have 390 viewers.
Is that possible?
But only 60 people in the chat. That's
Well,
weird.
I know that, you can only have a certain amount of people here.
Yeah, I saw that, Josh. That's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So after that, I believe I actually got my first spring gun. Besides the spring pistols, I got my spring shotgun. I actually used it mostly outdoors. And no, actually, I had the spring shotgun at Line Claws 2, or Line Claws
That
1. No. My first spring shotgun, which is the exact same model as that. Let me pull this out. This is a Tokyo Marui M3 Benelli. I had it at Line Claws 1. I actually used it for a third of the game because I was a squad commander. I didn't need to be on the front lines all the time. But I actually took this out to some of my more Milsim games in the forest, the Sequoia National Forest. And as I broke one of my buddies out of prison, Airsoft jail, he was using this and he fell. And it was basically
Broke it in half?
Well, it was a choice of breaking his arm or breaking the gun.
and he didn't choose to break his arm.
Well,
What kind of a buddy is that?
the thing is, like, he didn't have a lot of money, and he felt so bad. I just started feeling bad for him. I was like, don't worry, Brian, it'll be okay. It's not that expensive. He said, how much is it? I was like, $100.
$300?
No, I told him it was like $100. He's like, oh, cool, I'll give you $100. I didn't have the heart to tell him it was $250.
Oh God, buddy, you're such a nice
I felt
guy.
really bad for him.
Yeah, you did.
So, but I loved it. I got another one. I was using this the day we met. So,
On the topic of your friends losing or breaking your belongings, I loaned an Emerson pocket knife to one of my friends, Chris, and he shipped it to somebody.
oh yeah, tell that story. That's a good one.
It was like the Christmas season, probably about around this time 2 or 3 years ago. And then Chris was, we were such a small company at that time. We had everybody helping out, with the shipping department because we just got flooded with orders.
Yeah.
So Chris was like, and we didn't have enough box cutters to cut some of the boxes open. And then Chris was like, yo, Tim, I need a knife. Because I was actually printing, so I was printing the orders out, and then Chris was shipping. And I was like, I handed him my Emerson. And for some reason, I felt internally like, this is probably going to be the last time I see this knife. But I handed it over to Chris anyway. He's like, promise I'll return this in the same condition that I got it. And then like 2 or 3 hours later, Chris comes back and he's like, did I give you your knife back? And I was like, no. He was like, hold on to that thought. And then he walked away again. I was like, oh, F. Chris lost my knife.
Well, I think what happened is he was putting stuff in packages and literally just like set the Emerson.
No, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Because we looked at the security footage of Chris cutting the box and stuff like that. He probably set it down inside the box, set it down outside, or I don't know what the hell happened with it, but never saw that Emerson HD7 again. If you got an Emerson HD7 in a box that you weren't supposed to get, it was shipped in a box with an Echo 1 ER25K.
Wow. So someone maybe got a $600 knife?
No, that one wasn't 600. It was like 3 something.
Oh, it's still pretty expensive.
But I mean, I depreciated the cost of the knife over time, and I was like, just pay me this much for it so I can get another one. But
yeah, never let him do that again.
Yeah,
never again.
Well, no, I mean, actually, what I do is I tell Chris because he's borrowed knives since then. I'm like, this knife is this much money. Do you feel comfortable paying me back if you lose it? And he's like, I'll borrow someone else's knife.
Probably a good decision.
Yeah,
May I?
you may.
So where did you go after this gun?
This is what happened. I bought another Spring 226. I don't know where I got it. I think I got it at like a trade show, like Frankenstein's or something like that. And then I had the AUG, and then somebody at my junior high school wanted an airsoft gun, and I told him that I had the AUG and I'd give him to him for like $25, and so I did. I was like the Lord of War. I sold him a mini AUG for $25.
But wait, I can't sell a used gun.
Well, I mean, he wanted a used gun, so it didn't really matter to him. But
A used gun.
yeah, but that's
I like you.
we were just watching that the other day.
If you guys haven't seen Lord of War, great movie for people over the age of 18 because it's rated R, I believe.
It is rated
There
R.
are some
But
definitively rated R scenes.
that guy goes boom, and Nicolas Cage is like, "Why did you do that?"
Mainly because he just shot someone in the face.
Yeah.
But to cover it, he's like,
How am I gonna sell a used gun?
can't sell a used gun. Yeah, so covered.
Oh, I like that. But yeah, I
Yeah.
sold that used gun to that guy. I don't even remember his name. And then my friend Adrian really is a huge fan of the SIG 226, and he really wanted my P226, and so I actually sold him the P226 for $20, and then I ended up buying a Spring Beretta. So I dabbled around in spring guns quite a bit. But actually, my first really competition ready airsoft gun I also got off of Red Wolf 2001 or 2002 was a KSC G18C.
Classy. Yes.
I actually bought the gun, the extended 50-round magazine, and a can of gas all at once.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got it all at once, and then the gun, and then the magazine came. I was like, "Where's my gas?" I don't care. I'm gonna start playing with my gun, right? Because they had to ship the gas on a ship.
That's right. Yeah.
And so I got a can of gas 3 months later. And I was like, "What is it? Is this from my airsoft order?
Is this how it works?"
That was so weird.
You had no idea how to fire it then.
No, I did because I got gas from Frankenstein's or something like
okay.
that. But Frankenstein's is a bitch because it's only open on Wednesday and Saturday. So I can only really shop for airsoft on certain days of the week.
I mean, it may be frustrating that way, but there's also so many cool nerdy toys there.
Well, I didn't care about any of that. There was only 2 airsoft retailers there at that time. So
Okay, all right. Well, it's really nice seeing a full set of Legend of Zelda shield, sword, and armor there. That's a fun place to walk around. So just 'cause it's open 2 days a week,
All right. Well, I wasn't interested in any of that. I just wanted my airsoft stuff. So I got green gas from them, and I was able to use my my G18C. But another thing is that there used to be a store in San Diego that's not in business anymore, and they actually custom made slides for that. And so I have a custom made silver slide for
I have seen that.
G18C. It's not engraved or anything like that. It doesn't have any trademarks, but I was actually able to successfully transfer over my front sight. And I've done a couple of other upgrades to it. I think I have a Type Warp barrel in there. I have, I think it's just the barrel, the enhanced recoil springs, and then the slide. So I did modify my Glock 18C a little bit. But that was the first, like, skirmishable gun that I had, and I just... Because, I mean, at that time I still only played Airsoft with my cousins and their friends. I was the only one with a gas gun. Nobody wanted to play with me. But
I'll stop dropping the gun. I'm sorry.
Come on, stop playing with toys.
How dare
But
you.
yeah, since I was the only one with a gas gun, nobody wanted to play Airsoft. So it was actually a big void in time from like 2001 to about 2005 that I didn't play Airsoft. What was Frank saying? Someone wants to see the tan and black on the wall.
Oh yeah, the $1,200 custom from our tech department.
Well, if you want to see
Tim,
that, we did a full video on it. We have a lot of
Oh,
stuff
they're
to
gonna
cover.
drop it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
Why would I drop
dangerous.
it?
So.
Because you're picking it up in such an unorthodox fashion.
Man,
Here,
look,
all right, look.
I can figure that out, bro. I can chew gum and walk at the same time.
You almost couldn't do that sentence. Here you go.
This is an HK 416 made by our tech Aaron Mora. A lot of internal upgrades on this thing.
Yeah.
Magic box, everything almost on the inside. Siege Tech gears, Tinley motor. Got the Gemtech barrel extension. Has a 455mm Type Bore barrel by Mad Bull. All of these accessories that come with it: the laser flashlight, the laser on the sight. Magpul stock, and it has a price tag. You know, it has a price tag of about $1,200, but I believe this is currently on sale on our website, I think.
Ow!
You guys like to know something funny? For a second there, we had 416 viewers
Holy crap.
What?
Oh!
while looking at a 416.
Check
Now,
that out.
out of all, like, there's 3 $1,200 customs done by our tech department. Out of all of them, I think this is my favorite, just because externally it looks badass. Internally, it functions incredibly well, and also the gentleman who made it sports a beard. So.
He cut off his beard at the
No,
time.
no, no. Saw him today. It's beard.
No, I know he has a
That's
beard now, but he cut off the beard at the time that he constructed this. That's why it was called the chops, because all he had was the chops
Well, whatever.
on his face. That's why I think that's it. But I actually personally like Frank's gun. The two that are left.
Well, not that Frank doesn't do great work. It's just personal preference for me. I really like the two-tone look.
Well, I just like the fact that Frank has two optics on his, because you have the sight and then
Oh, yeah.
it has the 45
The
degree
canted?
mount.
Yeah.
So that one looks pretty neat.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, there was a big void in my airsoft playing career, I guess you could say, because nobody wanted to play with the guy with the gas gun. Everyone else had Springers and mini AGs.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't until my friend David, he actually went to Marine Corps boot camp after high school, and one of his DIs, his drill instructors, was into airsoft, and kind of told David about it, and David's like, dude, we should get airsoft guns. I was like, yeah, I've already got some. You get your own. And so I started playing with David, and we were playing at this really small retail store called Steelhawk.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a really even, like the store was about this big, and then their field was about this big right next to it. And so it was just like a really tiny CQB closet that David and I would go play airsoft in. And he ended up buying like a G19 Glock also.
That's a good gun. I have one of those.
Yeah.
Highly, highly underrated.
Yeah, but I think he ended up selling that to get a classic Army M4. So he jumped into the AEG market like right away while I still had a gas pistol.
Yeah, I can see him doing that, being a Marine and all. So.
Well, it was kind of funny how the whole thing started because we met who would eventually become our team leader, Eric Chuang, Gene, Buddha, the other guys that eventually would make up Blackwatch at Steelhawk in like 2005. And then I was hanging out with David, and I really wasn't even that gung-ho into airsoft, to be completely honest with you. Like, David really wanted to play. I was like, man, I don't know. Like, I got a gas pistol. I don't know if I want to make the jump into an AEG, because at that time, the AEG that I wanted was like $365.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of money, and then you had to buy a charger and everything like that. So, I was like, man, I don't even really want to play. But then I'm at David's house. We're just like, I think Call of Duty just came out at that time. So we're playing video games, watching TV, and then David gets a call from Eric. And I guess they, unbeknownst to me, were talking about forming a team. And Dave was like, yeah, me and Tim are in for sure. And I like peek up from like, what are we doing?
What are we in for?
Like, yeah, we're in for sure. He's like, dude, playing Airsoft. We're on an Airsoft team. I was like, oh my god, why would you do this to me? But it actually ended up working out. I ended up picking up that TMSR16, and I got a pretty good deal out of it. And we just ended up playing at Steelhawk for like a year or so before they closed down that little field. It was really amazing because the field couldn't have been more than 20 feet wide. And there were like 3 hallways that ran the length of it with doors and stuff like that. And so it was extremely small. It was like 20, maybe like 25 feet wide by 35 or 40 feet long. It was extremely small. It was like, when you say close quarters combat, it was really, really close quarters combat.
It's like, go! Knife kill.
No, not like that, but like essentially like because you would have to meet in the middle, like I would be shooting from me to Josh. And even a gun shooting like 280 FPS, which is what a stock TM shoots.
That's still,
it's gonna stay that close. And so
Phone!
phone's off, everyone.
My phone is off.
Oh,
Tim.
that was Gene. We were discussing our Gran Turismo battle.
You can't use him for help.
I'm not using Gene for help. I'm using Gene for his PS3 and steering wheel. Because I
Wow.
don't have one.
But he feels like a real friend.
Okay, I think that we should enlighten people about our Gran Turismo discussion. I think it'd be kind of fun.
It's not. There's nothing really to say about it.
Well, we can talk about the StarCraft thing.
You're gonna lose, and then you're
All
gonna
right,
be like,
let's-
man, why did I do this bet?
Bob and I, let's talk about the StarCraft thing.
Yeah.
All right, so you've been playing StarCraft 2 since the game was released, right? Did you get a pre-ordered copy or something like that?
No, I didn't get a pre-order copy. I just basically bought it right when it went out. And just like all games, I always play the campaign first because it's very fun. Now, you played StarCraft 1 and you played StarCraft 1 Brood War.
I never actually played 1. I didn't start playing until Brood War came out.
Okay. But you
So-
played both, though, right?
I have played both, but I mean only because I was like, oh, there's a regular StarCraft. I want to see what's different. And then I figure out like you don't have lurkers, you don't have fire bats, you don't have anything. Like it's just, this game sucks. I'm playing Brood War. Brood War is way better, the expansion. But yeah, so you've been playing StarCraft 2 for, I think it had been at that point a year or so.
Yeah, probably about that. And I just actually got into Star Battle, the new like custom game. So I wasn't playing like the regular games as much. But yeah, right before I started playing, Frank, our head tech, was actually giving me tips on how to beat you and also how to beat Vince. And some of them worked out really well. In fact, I really schooled Vince. But the whole point was that you were, at the time, making a heck of a lot of fun of me. And you're like, Bob, you played StarCraft 2. I haven't played StarCraft 2. I bet, without even touching it, I can kick your ass. And
I
was
didn't
like,
say without touching it, did I?
you said without even
Without playing.
without playing it at all, I'm gonna kick your ass. And I was like, challenge accepted. And so we met at online. I believe I actually had a video camera videotaping from my perspective, so I figured I'd have some reactions. I saved the replays, which you did not.
I didn't say the replays. I was so excited about winning.
Yeah, I know. It's you got a little like nervous, right?
Yeah.
But the key difference is the fact that you had Gene, who's a StarCraft aficionado, an excellent player, basically kind of coaching you.
He gave me one piece of
No,
advice.
he gave you a couple. More than
he didn't.
No, he gave you probably 2 or 3.
Like what?
He was sitting there like watching over your shoulder the whole time.
He was watching the game, but he told me one key thing that was the only
meant
thing
the
that
difference
made
between the
difference.
battle. Yeah.
Yeah, the second game.
Okay.
But anyway, so we set a time and date where we could meet up online. We decided that we were going to play best of 3.
Yeah.
Best of 3. Whoever wins, wins. Now, I legitimately didn't play a game of StarCraft before our first game.
Yeah.
But I did watch a bunch of the Korean professionals play so that I could kind of understand what to do in the build list. Because the tech tier is a lot different in StarCraft.
It is a bit
than it
different,
is in Brood War.
but the
Yeah.
fundamentals are the
Of course,
same.
the fundamentals are the same. But prior to me playing StarCraft, I played Warcraft 3. And Warcraft 3 is a completely different game.
Yeah, it's like half role playing, half like actual
it's
tactical
really
combat.
different. So I wanted to make sure that I saw the professionals play so that I wouldn't bring the Warcraft tactics
Sorry.
into it.
Yes, this is a Tokyo Marui M3.
Yes.
My God, awesome. Sorry.
I forgot where I was going with that. But anyway,
Watch
you
Koreans.
won the first game.
Yeah, I won the first game
Pretty handily,
hands
I
down.
might
Yeah.
add. Yeah, I was like, okay, now I understand a little bit more that I have some gaming experience, right? The second game took a little bit longer to play because I think that I understood
that-
a little better.
Is that the one where Gene helped you?
Yeah, that was the only one where he helped.
Okay.
Because he legitimately didn't say anything in the third game because I had gotten a
Yeah,
by then.
yeah.
But the second game was where the nail biter was because I had already lost the first game, and so the second game was coming down to the wire because Bob had all of his forces like attacking me, and
All the
I was
time.
in the middle of attacking you too, which is why my forces weren't in my base. They were in the middle of the field, and then you had already gotten in because I don't build defense.
I actually believe at that time I just started dropping.
You
nukes.
drop shipped me,
Just
that's
no.
right,
I
yeah.
actually drop shipped and nuked you, and then you were and
No, I thought the nukes were in. Oh yeah. You did have nukes. You
Yeah,
did have nukes.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So you drop shipped and nuked me, and I was like, damn, my base is like a goner.
Yeah.
And so I was like, my units were sitting in the middle of the map. I was like, okay, I can either save my base, but if I save it, then I'm gonna get, you know, you're gonna kill me. Like if I save my base, like it's gonna take me too long to reload. And Gene's like, dude, you're dead. You might as well just send like attack bot. Like it's over.
Well, yeah, we are off topic, but that said, basically your walkers like were kicking my defense's butts. But for a second I was like, sweet, I'm totally gonna win. I'm losing. Oh no! And I tried to ship all my different base utilities, like the buildings, off, and it was too late. And you won and pulled a squeaker by me, and I was so frustrated. Yeah. In fact, on the camera, you could see me just going like, I can't believe this is happening.
We need to make an uncut video of that.
Yeah.
So I want you to bring that footage in so that we can take a look at it.
Yeah, I just don't know how to get the replays.
They should be. You should be able. From Windows, you should be able to look at the files of the replays. It should be just video files.
We should. Someone just asked
us a question.
Well, that sounds right for me. Asked us a question like, "What race do we play?" or something.
I was Protoss.
You were Protoss. You prefer playing them. I prefer specifically playing Terran because of the movie Starship Troopers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I only chose Protoss. Actually, the third game, I think I was Zerg, wasn't I? Was I Zerg?
I don't. I thought you were Protoss every game.
Was I may have been Protoss every game, but in Brood War, my two strongest races was Protoss and Zerg. I didn't really use Terran too much. Now they're getting ahead of us, and Josh is actually talking about the video game shit talking that I was doing earlier today because
Frank brought it up, not me.
Okay. So this is kind of leading in because we're gonna have another video game showdown very, very soon, probably tomorrow. But I was mentioning to Josh, because I know that he's a big Nissan GTR fan, that I think that I can beat him in a race with a Spec Miata around any track of his choosing.
That's bold.
So then I said, okay, Laguna Seca.
Laguna Seca is a really big
To which Tim did a frown. Because he knows it's a high-speed track.
It is a high-speed track, but I still think I can win. I'm pretty sure.
I just don't understand. I play video games so much. If anybody plays League of Legends out there or knows anything about that, I am platinum ranked in that game. I play video games so much.
That's not Gran Turismo, though.
It just translates over, man.
League of Legends does not translate to...
Yes, it does. It's called hand-eye coordination, and I have an abundance of it. And there's just
I am a driving instructor. How much better hand-eye coordination can you get?
You're a driving instructor, but at the same second, it's like your driving skills are not going to translate to a controller, man.
Gran Turismo is supposed to be the most realistic
You can be the
game
best
ever.
driver in the world and sit down in a video game, and a 12-year-old will still kick your ass.
I don't disagree with that, but I think that I can beat you because you're not 12. We'll see. I really want to record this one for sure and make an uncut. We need to have like a video game showdown section in uncut. I think that would be really
Let's
awesome.
do it.
God, that's what was so frustrating. You didn't save the replays for StarCraft.
I saved one or two of them.
No, I thought you just didn't specifically because you didn't want to have the replays or something.
No, I remember because the thing is like you have the breakdown screen after the game is over, and I just instinctively just like click out of it, you know, because that's where the save replay button is. But I think I did it for the first game when I lost, and I was like excited about winning the second game that I totally forgot to save that replay, and then I may have saved the third one as well. So I think I saved the first and second one. So I didn't actually save the nail biting victory. But if you saved all three of them, then we should be good to go.
No, I definitely, because I watched them afterward, and I was like, God dang it! I was so embarrassed! Because I had played it a while. But the thing is, out of all of my friends, I'm the second least best player. So
the second least best.
Like, there's like, Vince is not a... Well, look,
least best.
I'm not the worst. Second least best. Like, Vince is the worst, even though he's still pretty good. I'm just above him.
Vince is Korean. You're better than Korean?
Well, he's Korean American.
Ah.
Yeah, but no, I did actually
but he
have.
should really be like inherently better than us.
You would think so, yeah. But I did do a three game with him, and I got 2-1 hands down. The third game, he definitely got me pretty good. Built the barracks right outside my base, but then it'd probably be like Gene, then Derek. Derek
he
is.
bunkered you?
Well, I did the same thing to him the first 2 games, and there was, I guess, some wood, so I literally just didn't see it. And then I sent a drop ship. I was like, mother trucker, God dang it. So. But yeah, so we're gonna have a rematch in StarCraft 2.
No, wait, who are you better than? Because it's Vince, then
So it's
you.
Vince, me, then Gene, and then Derek. I would say is the best one.
Oh yeah, for
Derek is definitely. Well, actually, I would
Gene
put.
and Derek.
I would say maybe Frank between Gene and Derek.
Frank?
Frank's,
I've never played with
Frank's really good. Derek is hands down the best.
He's not Korean.
He's
surprising.
Vietnamese.
It's right next to Georgia.
Right. See.
Okay. Maybe we should start talking about Airsoft again.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so I mean, that's where I left off at pretty much joining Blackwatch unwillingly, because David suckered me into the game, and so I had to pick up an AEG so that I could compete with some of these guys. And so I ended up at the request, or not at the request, but at the recommendation of Flash. And we have this guy on our team called Flash because he's short and Chinese.
Very
he's
fast.
really fast.
Yeah.
And so we call him Flash. And he said, was kind of speaking from a text perspective, is that you should get the TM-SR16 because it's already wired to the back. Take off the full stock, put an LE stock on, and run an external battery pouch. So, well, after just getting the gun, I didn't really have any money for modifications at all. So I actually used my SR16 stock for a solid like 8 months or so before I started tampering with it. And so I eventually did as Flash instructed to get the stock to wire the gun to the back with an external battery pouch. And you know, with those like 9.6 batteries with like 4,200 milliamps, you can play for like a week straight without charging your battery.
Seriously.
Like, those batteries are like this big, and it just sits on the back of your gun, and you don't have to charge that thing for like a year. Not a year, but like literally, like those batteries hold so much juice that you don't need to recharge them hardly ever. And then slowly the gun started, you know, being morphed into something different. I think I had at one time an Olympic Arms free float rail system on there, which is you know, popular by ICS. They had a lot of those. It's those really round circular handguards. I had a Mad Bull Talon kit on the gun, which is one of those really modular front end rail systems that was really short. And so I went through 2 or 3 different front ends on that thing before I decided to settle on the King Arms CQBR front end. I also went through 2 metal bodies on that thing. So the first metal body
That's
I got...
expensive.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't by choice. I actually ended up breaking my first metal body.
Wow.
Well, see, the plastic tabs, it was a common thing for the TMs for the tabs on the rear to break. And so when that happened, I got a metal body, and I wanted to keep with the Colt look to it, because that's what the Tokyo Marines, the licensing, well, not the licensing, but that's what the trademark that they had on that was the Colt bodies. I got the Hurricane Colt metal body, and then I had Gene install that. So I had that metal body, ended up breaking it because I was being dumb trying to like upgrade it and do some stuff and not doing it the right way because I didn't have the right tools. So I ended up getting a G&P Special Forces metal body.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
it's what's on it right now, and so I've learned a little bit more about how to properly use the right tools for the right job so I don't break my body. And then the internals have been completely revamped from whatever. I think the only original parts are the cylinder and the trigger. That's Tokyo Marui. But that gun was my go-to gun. It was my only airsoft gun for a really, really long time. Even after Steelhawk wasn't around anymore, when Tech City, what used to be called Airsoft Playground. That's
wow.
when. What's up?
Sorry to interrupt you, but I guess maybe our StarCraft talk scared away some people. Went from 400 to 100.
No, I think what happened was they said that we were featured on the front page for a while.
Oh.
That thing cycles.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and so we were on the front page of Blog TV, so that when people log onto Blog TV, it'll just automatically go to us. That's why it was fluctuating so much.
Sweet mother of pearl.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, I think that's a pretty good milestone right there, like my very first AEG. So let's talk about your next progression.
All right, sweet. I'm excited because I actually wanted to get into sniping a lot, and I had pre-ordered this gun from a certain airsoft retailer that may happen to be around still in the United States. And I was like, sweet, I can't wait. I'm going to get it for Christmas on my own money. So I'm buying it for myself for Christmas. And didn't come out for a year. I was...
A year?
Yeah. The Tanaka M700. In fact, let me just take it out right now. This is the only sniper rifle I've ever owned, and I couldn't have been more pleased with it. Now, on the advice of some friends in the military, instead of getting the regular bipod, which I did anyway, and ended up breaking, I got the British version of this that allows you to swivel around quite a bit, like forward and back. Did my own paint job on this. I've got a cheek riser on here, but this is a gas sniper rifle, very functional, very quiet except for just the snap it emits when you shoot.
Gas guns are really quiet.
Yeah.
There's hardly any moving parts.
What I like is how, like with just one finger, just forward again. Like you can fire really fast, stay on target. And I actually ended up building the ghillie suit to go with this gun about 6 months before I could get the gun, because I was waiting for so long. So I built the ghillie suit. I don't know if you want me to pull that up or not.
That's probably too.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of space.
Yeah, so I have a full ghillie suit. Ended up making it for this gun. Started sniping just at some. I actually ran some milsim operations just back in Kern County. I came up with the ideas, ran them. I think they were both 12-hour operations. No, one was 12-hour. The other one was 24-hour.
Okay, hold on. Let me stop you right there. When you say 24-hour operations, do you actually play for 24 hours. Like, you have to have, like, your base set up, your guys on patrol, like, a legit, like, this is real life thing.
How it works is that everyone had, like, their base camp with the tents, and then, the game was always on, and, you know, if you wanted a safe zone, you had to be in your tent with everything zipped up, and you had to go to sleep with safety, like at least like goggles on. Because what happened is that, you know, people would invade your camp at night, and how it works is that they're supposed to unzip the tent, just tap you, and then they leave a card right outside your tent saying you've been knife killed while you're sleeping. So there was, the next day, like I woke up and I was the commander of one side, and I was like, oh, what? God, where was perimeter security? I was like, where were you? He's like, I'm sorry, man, my back hurts, so I nodded off and we got overrun.
Somebody actually got into your tent?
Stop hitting the table.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, guys. I get a little bit anxious.
A little emotional here,
Yeah.
getting knife killed at night.
I know. I was really embarrassed.
That's a really clever system, though. I really like that.
Yeah.
That setup. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, so it was really fun. We definitely had a lot of close calls, but took this guy out, and I should stop hitting the table. We also brought out a spotlight, so we'd have someone on the other side of the course spotlight, and whoever they lit up, I would shoot with a sniper rifle.
Nice.
Yeah.
I really do want to try getting into sniping. I'll kind of get to that once we get to that progression of my airsofting. But this is the Generation 1 Tanaka M700.
The first one,
came
and
out.
you'll notice it's heavy. This is actually heavier than the real Remington 700.
Well, I mean, that's not what I want to get at. The Tanakas are always really heavy because they have the really bulky stock and stuff
No,
like that.
the one that came out after this was actually like half the weight.
Oh, is this a steel barrel then? Is that why it's so heavy?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
No, I think
But,
a lot of it's in the stock, and then the rest is in, this.
Well, the thing that I want to get at is that the Gen 1s shot at like 600 FPS or something like that, right?
Negative. This one actually right out of the box was right at 550, and or maybe it was like 540 because I upgraded the barrel to a precision like Type bore barrel myself. And when I screwed up the hop up, I took it into the airsoft store where I bought it at. And I was like, "Hey, person," because I don't want to say his name because I don't know what store that was. Can you like fix this? I busted the hop up. I turned this too far, and he was like, "Oh, you opened that? Can you show us?" I was like, "Oh God, okay, I have no help from you guys. Just sell me a hop up and I'll get out of here." So it's funny because I'm not as accomplished of a tech by any means here, but that was the one time I out-teched a store. They're like, "Oh, show us."
Yeah. I remember you telling me that story. I know who you're referring to, too, which is kind of funny.
It's ridiculous.
But, I thought these things shot really hot out of the box. And even at shooting 550, that's really unique because Japanese guns aren't supposed to shoot over 1 joule with a 2.0 BB.
Which this does.
Clearly does. At 550 FPS with the 2.0s is like really high over 1 joule. So that's kind of a unique thing. Because I remember the Gen 2 Tanakas coming out and they did shoot 300. So you needed to modify them to get back up to sniper level, which is this already came out of the box at. So you were really fortunate. I guess that year wait kind of paid off though, because if you had gotten the later version, you would have had to have spent more money upgrading it.
Well, I was also lucky too because I actually bought an extra mag with the gun, and it came with one, but then I got an extra mag, and then I was never able to get them again.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can now, but like at the time, I had to wait years before I could even have the option.
That's really the thing that I think that a lot of the younger players don't understand is that, like, it was hard to find things that you needed. I mean, the internet back in the day was like still kind of like I was using my parents' money to buy
internet
stuff.
commerce was
it was not that
in its infancy.
popular. And so people were wary at that time about sending their money, especially overseas. Like, dude, I'm not gonna send this guy $200. Are you crazy? Like, he's just gonna walk off with my money. But it was impossible to find things almost in some cases, and so like when stuff broke, you had no option but to just leave it broken.
Yeah. Very frustrating.
So Bob, you are an internet sniper. Not an internet sniper. You are an airsoft sniper.
Yeah, I can't wait to do it again. I really want to get a new sniper gun come down the pipe, and hopefully I can get some action footage with it. I mean, if I get a good enough sniper rifle,
I don't know about getting action footage with a sniper though, because you're like sitting. Like the whole thing about being sniping is that you have to be patient.
Okay, now here's the thing.
Okay.
Now, what if? Like, I made a new ghillie suit for whatever new sniper rifle I get, and I hide in such a good spot.
What's wrong with this one?
Well, this will work. It's just I'd like to try like some of the new ones like on the market, just so because we don't sell this.
I'm pretty sure.
You sell Tanaka M700s?
I think that we do, Bob.
Okay, well,
Keep talking.
Regardless, I'd like to get a more, I guess, a sniper rifle has just come out on the market, so I can play with it, see how it works. But maybe we like
Remington MSR 338.
Yeah, that's Ares MS 338. Yeah, the Mono Sniper 338. I would like to get that one. That'd be nice. But I think it'd be cool if, like, I got gillied up, got in a really good spot, and then you guys played Find the Sniper. And you had a camera on where I actually was, and to see how close, like, people could get to me, it'd be kind of fun if they literally were standing right next to me but had no clue.
Well, considering how the the beginning shoot went, just being in a ghillie suit with face paint on.
That was at night, though, too.
Oh man.
People were just looking for us while we were sitting there talking to them. They
Yeah.
were like, "Where are these voices coming
Yeah,
from?"
we put some uncut videos up of those Chronicles of the Snipers at Tim vs. Bob at the beginning, and the specific thing he's referring to is that, like, for about like 20 minutes, I think everyone on the set was walking around looking for the sniper team, Josh here and HKS back in the front room. They're like, "Where are the snipers?" And when someone on set finally said that, they just stood up, they're like, "We're right here," and everyone was like, "What the? Whoa! Where did you come from?" They're like, "We've been here the whole time."
Yeah, we were literally like somebody had walked off to go look for us in the house, and we were all the way at the end of the driveway. And we were just sitting there like chit chatting, like not a big deal. And then finally they walked past, and they're like, "Man, we can't find the snipers anywhere." We're like, "Oh, we're just chilling right here." And the funny thing about that was right before that they had shot a scene and walked right past us with the camera shooting. Like they were shooting somebody walking past us, didn't see us.
Wow.
And it's not even on the film at all. We're totally blending in. So it really, like, the face paint and everything was legit. Like it really worked out quite well. So I would love to
Yeah.
do some nighttime stuff in the ghillie suit again. That was really entertaining. So
Actually, it would be fun, but it only worked for one shot, then you have to displace. But if you could hook a tracer unit at the end of a sniper rifle.
Yeah.
oh man, that'd be
Putting
awesome.
a tracer, a sniper, just kind of like, here I am.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. It's like, boom, missed.
Better move.
Get out of here. Yeah, no, it wouldn't be as effective.
Oh man.
It's just a thought.
Have you seen that Airsoft video of that night game
Yep.
where it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it just breaks out into a huge firefight with tracers?
BOE, I think.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, well,
Was
so,
that
yeah.
was that a game in California? I don't think it was.
I don't know, but I mean, yeah, basically everyone comes over the hills from each side. And you just see,
Tracers all
Yeah,
over the place.
BOE, yeah. Yeah, no, that was really cool to see. That's why I like using and have people using against me tracers. And Line Claws 1, they had a lot of people with tracers, and I remember getting to the edge of the village, and I was like, I think there's someone there. And then 6 people tracers start shooting. I was like, there's definitely someone there.
I've usually not really been a fan of night games because I end up like stepping somewhere and twisting my ankle because I can't see where I'm going or something like that. And actually, at Irene, I already had a twisted ankle when we were there, and then during the night game, I fell and twisted it again, and so I was just not having a good time during the night game because I was like, "Fuck, get me out of here! This is terrible."
Horrible. Yeah, I didn't have to do much running at the night game. I was basically just on that building for the
Yeah,
majority
you
of
were.
it, watching all of the explosions.
That was not cool.
By not
I mean,
cool,
it was cool for you, but it
Well,
was
it's
not
because
cool for everyone else.
you guys like left me there by myself. Remember?
Yeah, well, we were tired, and you really wanted to play.
I was like, I'm here to play, guys, not eat.
Yeah.
Just play.
Well, whatever.
It was worth it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
where did you go after Airsoft Sniping? I mean, of course it's your first love, so you never really like got over it. But I mean, you can't. Where we started playing, 2006 or so is when Tax City opened. That's where I met you. Tax City was called Airsoft Playground at that time. You can't use this in Tax City.
Oh, of course not. Actually, right after I started getting into sniping, when I went to college, I took one of my AGs with me. I took the TMM 16A2, but I also took the shotgun because I knew there were some CQB facilities in LA. I hadn't been to any, but I figured I'd find some. So I actually started going to Tax City. I ended up buying, I believe, a little bit after I started going, this M4 CQB. I can just, you want me to bring it out? Or?
Yeah, just put this down.
Okay.
Because that M4 CQB is what you used, I think, most of the time when we were playing.
Yeah, well, I mean,
At
I would switch
Airsoft
back and forth
Playground.
between the shotgun and this.
Yeah.
This is not the usual setup I use it in.
You
This
usually have a grip pod on here with an aim point. And
I usually have grip pod, aim point, and I usually put the suppressor on here, or the mock suppressor. But sometimes I put this Loudener or the KX3 Noveski flash hider. Yeah, I like really camoing out my guns just because it gives it a custom look, and this is the same paint job I have on my paintball mask.
so everybody owns a Mark 18 here.
I have 2 of them.
This is a M4 CQB, my classic army.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
much
a
a Mark
Mark
18.
18.
I know, I'm just going on technical.
You have a Mark 18? You don't have a Mark 18.
Not that you know of.
No, I got Armalite trades.
That's true. I told you about that.
Yeah, I was tuning you out. Sweet. Nice neck crack. Did you fart?
No.
Oh, that would have been funny. I think you did. Oh, that was fake. Yeah, so actually I was using this there, but yeah, the night I met you, I'd taken out the TM M3 Benelli because I'd invited some friends to come out at the last minute. They're like, yeah, we don't want to. And I just finished finals. I was like, I just want to go play Airsoft. And it's funny
You were
'cause-
still in school at the time?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought you had already graduated.
No. But I do remember that I believe you weren't there that night specifically.
No, I wasn't. I
but
heard about it.
Blackwatch as a team when I came in started making fun of me.
Yeah, that sounds like about us.
Yeah, they're like, oh, look at this
we
guy
do
with
that
a
a lot.
spring shotgun. Everyone's got AEGs, like we're doing this, and then we had the first game, and I just wrecked house. Like I got all the way behind the other team, probably killed like 5 or 6 people.
Mm-hmm.
But then Eric Schwan came up to me, and was like, "Can I talk to you real quick outside?" I was like, and he's kind of serious sometimes. I was like, "Yeah, did I do anything wrong?" He's like, "No, I just need to talk to you." So it sounds scary, right? So yeah, he ended up asking me to join the team, and the next, I think it was a training session where I met you, and the Blackwatch training was pretty amazing because Eric's obviously was a CQB instructor for the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Gene's very good at playing airsoft and is tiny and Asian and can get into corners, which I wouldn't expect someone to be in. So I would be clearing Tech City and then look around and be like, oh my God, I'm dead.
Well, the cool thing was at that time we were so close with the owner of Airsoft Playground at that time that we had a key to the field.
Yeah.
So it would be on the days that it was closed, we would go there and train, and so that really was like home base for us because we were there all the time. At that time, I was playing Airsoft like 3 to 4 times a week almost.
Yeah.
Because we would have training on Tuesdays, and then we'd play like Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday, depending on what the schedules were like for the guys. And I mean, most of the time, it was very rare that we got the entire team there at one time. It was usually you, me, or David. Me and David went there just by ourselves a lot. Me, David, and Gene played together frequently. So, we didn't have the entire team there hardly at all at one time, except for on training days. Normally, we would all come together on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. But yeah, I wasn't there personally, but it made for a really good story. Like, oh yeah, we got this new guy, Bob. He's called the Village Idiot or something like that.
No, after like 5 minutes
Joker,
of meeting,
that
they
was
were
your
like,
name,
your
yeah.
name is Joker. I was like,
Yeah.
sweet.
Because you're funny or something,
Yeah.
something like that. I don't know how that whole thing came about.
Well,
So-
what?
Funny looking.
Funny looking.
No, I think I remember how it came about. It's kind of a funny story, I guess.
I don't know what it is.
Oh.
If you do.
Well, Caesar was the guy who's our heavy
Caesar.
weapons gunner and
Yeah.
MMA fighter.
Yeah.
And this is a mistake I will never make again. Someone makes fun of you sometimes in college, you nut knock them, flick on the nuts. Do not do that to an MMA fighter. It's really stupid. So Caesar came over to me, put me in a headlock, proceeded to headlock me, and it kind of started hurting, and then he kind of twisted my head to the side, and my neck just cracked probably 5 or 6 times. And I was like, oh, this will be fun, I'll just go with it. So it cracked, and I just flopped off my stool and hit the ground really hard. And he was like, I was like, aha, gotcha. so yeah, I think Eric was like, okay, Joker, that's your name, Joker. So.
Oh man, there's I don't know why guys do that, but I think it was Gene or somebody that was messing around with Caesar. Like he had the cold steel fake bayonet or fake knife or something like that. And he attempted to stab Caesar jokingly, and he was just parried, whoop, threw Gene on the floor right next to him. Like, dude, you can't do that. He's trained to do that. Gene was just joking. He's like, I'm gonna stab you, and he's like, no, you're not.
Fail.
Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't seen that guy in a while. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Is it time to go? Almost.
No, wow. What else do we have to talk about?
Well, I didn't really get past, okay, so I was playing CQB for a long time. Like I mentioned, that's where we met Bob at Airsoft Playground. I played frequently with a lot of the guys on the team. And it was really probably 3 years, 2 years or so of just straight playing indoors before I ever really got to my first outdoor game.
Which is kind of funny because, it's
You're
kind
the
of
opposite.
Yeah, exact opposite. Yeah.
But I had never played an outdoor game until Operation New Horizon, 2 or 3 or something like
No,
that.
2 was the one where you screwed me over with the Gore-Tex
No,
shoes.
you didn't go to 2. The New Horizon you went to was 5. New
Oh,
Horizon
okay,
5.
my bad.
So they had already been going on for a while. I think it was New Horizon 2 or 3. And then I realized at that game, because New Horizon was played outdoors, it's at Santa Ranch. It's outdoors, but it's still kind of close quarters because there's so much bamboo and it's really thick there.
Well, they would play the Vietnam style games there because it resembles.
Hawk Bow and
yeah,
stuff
Hawk
like that
Bow,
was
yeah.
played there. But I realized that my indoor mentality and my CQB tactics just wouldn't work. outdoors. And the thing that really was painfully clear, yeah, was like I was receiving fire from the enemy somewhere, like in the distance, and I kind of was able to pinpoint where he was based off of the people that were getting hit around me.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, this will be easy. I know he's right there. I'm just gonna flank him and go around. But like he's in a fixed position, and I'm like trying to like sneak around him, and he just like waited until I got close enough and shot me. And so I was sitting there thinking, I was like, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to come up with something else. Because like when you're playing in an enclosed environment and there's plywood walls everywhere, people can't see your movement, and that's kind of the point. Like if you're consistently moving when you're playing close quarters combat, you can get around people fairly quickly and easily. But there's trees and there's bamboo, and even though it's not easily visible, you can tell when somebody's moving around.
Yeah.
And so all you have to do is wait for an opening and wait for me to get shot, essentially is what happens. So I realized after my first outdoor game that I'm going to have to like relearn Airsoft and relearn how to play outdoors.
New tactics, definitely.
Well, it was really just a matter of being a little more patient and understanding, like, okay, this is not indoor play. Like there's just so much openness out here, and I'm going to have to like concentrate and really think about where I move and how I move instead of just immediately flanking around, because there's not a lot of thinking that needs to be done in speedball. The enemy's right there. You can take them head on, which is not advisable,
or you can flank them,
which is the preferred method.
Or you can grenade them.
Or you can grenade them if your field allows it. But yeah, I mean, having to relearn Airsoft was kind of an eye opener. And then for a long time after that, I had hardly played Attack City or played indoors ever again because, well, not ever again, but it's just a completely different style of play, and I really got addicted to playing outdoors because it's a lot more. I don't want to say it's a lot more fun. It's just fun in different ways. Because I still think playing indoors, playing CQB, the fast-paced game, is still kind of fun.
We actually, Josh and I had a similar experience. We're debating like which is better, indoor or outdoor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying, I like how in indoor play, you go out, you either get shot or you win the game, you go back out again. Like it's a really quick return.
Fast-paced, yeah.
But we played at Integrity Tactical Solutions / their strategic ops event stops down in San Diego, and half to 2/3 of the field was outdoor. And we get shot, but then we'd immediately get back in the game, right, Josh?
Yes.
Good talk. So that was a different style of outdoor play where it's like, you get shot, you don't have like a quarter-mile walk back to the regen like it's some older milsim games. This was just immediately get back in, go find your friends, go. And it was really fun, and it wasn't that, like, it was actually incredibly well-balanced.
Yeah, I mean that is the thing that I like about like close quarters type games, just like fast-paced games where you don't have to sitting out a lot. Like some of the problems that I have with a lot of the milsim games is that you get shot, you have to wait 5 minutes to bleed out. Once you bled out, you have to wait 5 minutes before you can go back. I mean, it makes sense because you don't want to like, you want the balance to shift back and forth. Otherwise, it's not fun for any one team, right? And
kind of cool to see the bodies on the field too.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice to do that, but it's really boring if you're one of the bodies and you're like, shoot, I gotta wait here for 10 minutes, and then you walk all the way back to regen. And then you get shot again. It's like, shit, I need to wait another 10 minutes if somebody doesn't rescue you.
That was one of the great things about ITS is because of the size of the field, while very versatile in where you play, everything is, not everything, but the majority of the field is very, very different when you play. The respawn points is like, hey, okay, you run for 2 minutes, you're back to the respawn, tag it, and go. Like, get back in the fight.
Yeah.
And it really kind of like, the pacing of it is very well put together because the respawns are just far enough away to where if you clear out a place, you can get in, do the objective before they come back.
Yeah.
So you really have to be about speed and efficiency, which is what the whole training center is built on. It's built to train, military, law enforcement, those guys to be quick and efficient.
And working together.
Yeah. And you had to do that at ITS. I really think the balance is kind of something that I haven't seen pulled off very well in a lot of places. Like the 10-minute bleed out rule. It sucks. You're sitting there for 10 minutes in the sun, just like, oh.
I think it's
so
actually.
hot,
I think it's actually 5 minutes bleed out.
It's 5 minutes to bleed out, and then 5 minutes.
Well, you got to walk back. You know what I mean? So,
no, I think you have to be dead for 5 minutes. That's the rule.
Well,
wow.
I think it was like 5 minutes to be medicked, and then you have to leave there
for 5
yeah,
minutes.
yeah. So.
And so if nobody medics you, you're dead. You're sitting there for 10 minutes
Correct.
not doing anything.
So
but what you're talking about essentially is just the field layout and
the way that they have it set up.
organization,
Then
So
yes, correct.
I mean, yeah, Airsoft is. I mean, it is what you make of it to a certain extent. I mean, if I could go in there and just be like, a Scrooge McDuck or whatever, and just not have a good time.
Scrooge McDuck.
That means having a frowny face.
Yeah.
No, it's from DuckTales, right?
Yeah, exactly. But a Scrooge, what a Scrooge is. And I'm not going to have a good time no matter what. But another aspect of it is the field layout and how balanced it is and the players that you're with. And that's really kind of what makes an Airsoft game fun or not fun in a lot of cases. And a lot of times if you go to a game with like a line close to like 800 people, it's so hard to control everything. There's just so
Yeah.
many people.
It's another thing about those really large events is if you're not running communications gear, you're pretty much never going to play with your team.
Yeah.
You're going to lose them, and then
Yeah.
you'll never find them.
You
again.
get shot, go back to respawn. Oh, where are they on the map? Oh my god.
No idea.
Yeah.
So I do like if you're going to play Milsim operations, I recommend everybody just get communications gear. It really simplifies things, and I mean it's like what another $50 added onto your cost.
Feels kind of cool too.
Yeah, I mean unless you want to get some Pelletors, which I'm in the market for if anybody has some out there. Pelletors, yeah.
You can find them on like.
Well, actually, no.
Pelletors are pretty pricey. They're like $4 or $5, man.
It depends on what model you get. You want the Comtax?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got the Bravo headset style 3. It looks like Peltor's. You can hear stuff, and it does have the communication aspect where you can plug it into a Motorola 1-pin radio. Like I used those recently; they worked out really well.
Yeah, but it's all. I mean, you kind
It
of
doesn't
pay
have the-
for it. Like you're not going to have the quality of a Peltor.
Of course not.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're not going to get like the sound deadening aspect where
Yeah.
like.
Well, the reason that I wanted to get a pair of Peltors was because we do go out shooting real guns quite frequently, and they're just really nice. I mean, I borrowed a pair of Jasons, and I was like, wow, I know why these cost so much now because they work very, very well. So
They don't work well with some sunglasses though because they're over the ear protection. So
yeah, you do
if
have
you're
that
wearing
bit.
shades, it can.
With Desert
hinder
Visions,
it.
I didn't have
Yeah.
problems though.
well, hey, why don't we
If you're
talk?
wearing revision.
No, I tested them out just to see. I was like, oh, I wonder how these will fit with goggles on. And
Oh, with goggles. Yeah, with goggles would be fine.
Why don't we talk about where we want to go? Because I noticed that you are interested in getting a DMR build.
I already have a DMR build. See, this is the thing is that I kind of tinkered around with a couple of different airsoft guns to just tech them essentially, and then I got bored with that, and then I decided that it'd be much faster just give my guns to Gene to build. And so what I did is I got an M14 and a bunch of parts, and I gave it to Gene. He built me an M14 that shoots 500 FPS. I got it back. I was like, cool, it shoots 500 FPS, and then I put it away. So I've never touched it. In the last 2 or 3 years, and it's just been sitting there collecting dust. And then Josh mentioned he wanted to get an SSR to be a DMR. I know that you're really big into sniping. You talk about it all the time.
I don't like the
so
semi-auto sniping though as much.
You like the bolt action.
I like the bolt. It just
Yeah.
feels more realistic.
What's wrong? There's nothing unrealistic about an M14. The Marine Corps uses the M14.
No. They do absolutely use that. I don't know. Maybe it's just like I've been acquainted with bolt actions ever since I was 10. I'm just used to them and I like them.
Okay, well that's your opinion, but
Yeah.
I think that I'm going to set up my M14. I have to restrict it for a lot of the Milsim games to be semi-only, so I can't use it in full auto, which I'm totally okay with. And then I'm going to see about getting a ghillie suit, or at least the
half wraps.
the half. Not, I don't know.
It's like a half wrap, but it's kind of a coat that you wear, but it also
Yeah, it's like it's a hood and it's a shroud and a cape.
the
but
top. What you're gonna,
Yeah.
if you want though, if you get the cape, you can just cut off the bottom of that, and that's your rifle wrap.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get another rifle wrap. And wrap
Well,
my
yeah,
rifle.
as long as you get. I was just gonna suggest getting a rifle wrap. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
if you got a ghillie suit on, what's the point of not counting out your gun? Because
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to because the gun is black, but it already shoots 500. At least it did when it was built. I'll probably have to retune certain things and lube it up, I guess. But I mean, I think at the next game I'm going to try doing the sniper thing just to see what it's like because I think it could be fun. I don't know. I mean, I definitely had fun transitioning from CQB to outdoor, and now I'm kind of getting like, all right, well, I've played at most of the outdoor events around here. I'm going to try to mix it up a little bit and do something new. So like. You should never really be bored with airsoft because you can always
There's
do
a lot to
something.
do,
Like,
yeah.
after the sniper thing, I'm gonna try getting like a support gunner and doing that thing because I was talking with the Wojcic's, Michelle Wojcik. She has an MK23.
I thought she had a stoner.
Yeah, the Stoner.
Oh, yeah,
MK23,
that- okay,
yeah.
my bad.
And then her husband used it at BBT2, and he bought one after that, so they could both do dual MK23s. Yeah, they both had MK23s at BBT3.
Oh
If I do a support gunner situation, I really just want to get a 240 Polar Star engine. The 240 Bravo Polar Star engine, and just really have some fun with the box mag.
240 Bravo would be fun.
I always thought that if I was gonna do a support gunner, it would have to be with an RPK because it is a very versatile gun because it's so thin and light compared to other machine guns.
I don't think I've always wanted to be a support gunner as well, and I thought about getting the RPK for a long time, and I'm still tempted to. The one thing I really don't like, even though it's very realistic, is the bipod.
Wait.
It's not very adjustable. I mean, you can sort
No,
of
it's not
swivel with
at all.
it. No.
But you know, we were running with Jason Conforti at Lion Claws 8 or 9 at the very first time we were at George Air Force Base, and it was in the video where you, me, David, and Jason went off, and he was using an RPK, and he was really covering.
Oh, he was rock and rolling. He was overwatching the house, and then you and someone else went up to the windows, and I just went straight into the house.
That was the cool part, because that was actually where we shot all the lost sheep in there.
And Michelle Wojcik.
Yeah, but Jason was actually like behind us, just laying fire down these windows while we were approaching. And I really thought the RPK was cool, and that was one of the reasons he was using it too, is because he was able to navigate inside the houses relatively easy, because the gun's very thin, it's very light, it's essentially just like a long rifle. Yeah, it is a long rifle, but versus like the classic Army M249s are in the neighborhood of like 14 to 17 pounds with a fully loaded magazine. Some of like even the Polar Star, you know, if you want a 240 Bravo, right?
That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a big hunk of metal. You're still looking at about 15 pounds. Even, you know, you're replacing the gearbox with a fusion engine, and you know, most of the other gas, like the top Inokatsu type guns, those are in the neighborhood of like 20-something pounds too. So, I mean, as far as being an efficient support gunner, I think I could only do it with an RPK, because I would never choose to lug around a 20-pound gun.
Now, I, on the other hand, have a tendency to carry very heavy loads.
Yes.
Yeah, so actually, that's what I was going to say, is that's where I want to go next immediately, is I mean, I would really like the opportunity to, you know, be a support gunner. I've never actually ever been able to play airsoft with a saw or what.
Can we talk about? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Bob, but are we allowed to talk about that project we have going on? The gas.
We should. I mean, right now it's just kind of an idea. Nothing's been done for it yet, so we'll see what happens.
It's in the process.
It might be in the process. I don't even know if it can be done yet.
All right, we'll continue.
Well, actually, we'll talk about that later.
To let you guys know, we are reaching our time limit here pretty soon.
Yeah,
and we haven't talked about any of the specials, which we do need to go over because the holiday season is in 2 or 3 days. Full swing.
Well, we already have
so give us a quick little recap. Where do you want to go? And then we'll move right on to the
No, it's fine. We'll just
let all
move
these
on.
people
No,
know.
it's
Bob, just tell people about the promos.
Let's see. The promos. First of all, we have the Clean Canteen going on. The Season to Remember. Oh, wait. I'll just go over the
Season
Clean
to
Canteen.
Remember. Just focus on that.
All right. Season to Remember started, I believe, this previous Monday. Correct? It's going on all the way down through January 7th?
Yes.
Okay. 8th?
The first week of January, essentially, when it ends.
Okay. So I believe we have some coupon codes going on for the Season to Remember all the way.
They're at the top of our chat.
Yeah.
Airsoft 2013 gives you 20% off with no free shipping. Happy 2013 gives you 15% off with free shipping options still available. So you get to choose whichever coupon is going to save you the most money. But I think what we really need to focus on, Bob, is like the doorbusters for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. We've got G&G guns, we've got VFC guns, we've got a lot of other guns that are also going to be for sale for really, really cheap. And they're going to sell out fast because the quantities are limited. So if you've got your heart set on a Knights Armament SR, whatever, you know, the Knights Armament guns or a PDW, you need to be ready to go right as the clock strikes midnight. Because
just like in that video that we just uploaded of myself waiting for the doorbusters, like you're literally going to have to be there at 11:59 hitting the refresh button, and once that goes live, you better get on that or else you're going to miss your opportunity.
Yeah,
because
we have over 20 guns in the doorbusters, but the quantities are going to be limited, so you're only going to have a few seconds literally to see what's available and throw it in your shopping cart. Now, most of the most desirable guns are already advertised on our website, so you can kind of pre-shop around and know what's in there, but some of the guns we haven't disclosed yet.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some really good deals in the Black Friday and Cyber Monday doorbusters. So what's happening is that we have 20 plus guns going on doorbusters for Black Friday. We also have a completely different set of guns. Some of them will overlap, but for the most part, it's a completely different set of guns for Cyber Monday at 100 hours. So you got to be ready for that.
Now, I believe as far like that's online only, I believe. Well, I mean, we are having some in-store stuff. We're also raffling off some custom Frank guns for Thanksgiving.
Yes. Okay. We're having a Thanksgiving raffle at the Black Friday sale. So there's 3 guns. 1, 2, 3. That are going to be on display, and you're going to have a chance to buy raffle tickets for them. The raffle tickets are only going to be like $25, but these guns are all in the neighborhood of like $600, $700, and $800. So you could potentially invest probably like $100, get 4 raffle tickets, and you've got a really good chance of walking away with a very high dollar customized Thanksgiving gun. So it just works out really well that Frank's name works well into Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I know.
I was really bummed he didn't wear the turkey hat.
Where
man.
is the turkey hat's probably not here.
I don't know.
I think it's Building 1.
Okay. Well, yeah, Frank is very opposed to
The turkey,
making
yeah.
a fool of himself.
Yeah.
So, I otherwise have no problem.
Yeah, neither do I.
Mhm.
All right, what other specials we have going on? We covered the discount coupon. We've covered the.
We
The
covered
doorbusters.
Season to Remember, the Doorbusters.
Oh no, the seasons. Remember, we didn't really cover everything because if you make an order over $75, you get a free T-shirt.
That's right. And those are cool new T-shirts. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet. They're
Yeah.
pretty badass.
It's got our former art person Brandon on the front with a Masada.
Now works as a contractor for the Department of Defense.
Yeah, he works for the DOJ or DOD.
DOD.
Yeah, but I'm not really sure what he does. But
We
anyway,
can't say.
yeah, or otherwise he has to kill us.
Yeah.
But
Actually, no, he won't kill us. The government will come.
whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
$75 for the free T-shirt with Brandon on it, and also we've lowered our free shipping minimum from $100 to $75. So if you want to use the Happy 2013 15% off with free shipping, you only need to spend $75 to get it. Additionally, we're giving BBs away for the first 6,000 new customers that sign up. If you make a guest,
Really?
yeah, if you make an order under a guest account and you don't sign up to the Airsoft GI thing, then you don't qualify. But if you sign up and you're a new customer, we'll give you free BBs. And we also have just like BBs being discounted. Like we have the Javelin stuff that's going to be really cheap. Josh and I are going to do a commercial for that later. That's going to be hilarious.
Hilarious.
No, not saying I'm going to do this, but if I made like a new account, I'm a new customer, I could get some free BBs.
Yes,
But I
make
would get
a
in
new
trouble
account.
at work.
Yes. Well, we give you BBs to play with anyway, so
Mm.
I don't know what you're trying to do. These are for our customers.
Yeah, okay, fine.
But on top of all of that, what else is going on? Oh man.
Wait, did I mention fully the clean canteen business?
No, you didn't.
Okay,
Don't tell them about
so if you guys aren't aware, we don't have any clean canteens right here, but there are these aluminum water bottles.
that. The silver ones, not the red ones, because we have red ones. On the
Oh,
website.
I don't know that. Yeah, so right when we got these clean canteens in, HKS, the marketing department, put a redemption sticker or redemption certificate coupon for a KWA HK45 in one of the clean canteens. Didn't tell anyone which one it was. We didn't even know if it's at the walk-in store or here.
Yeah.
It's just in one of them. So if you happen to be purchasing one of those, it's very possible you could get one of the best airsoft guns on the market, or airsoft gas blowbacks. Yeah. So highly suggested. Tim and I both use a clean canteens when we go to operations. His actually makes a funny sound when he drinks out of it.
They don't all do that? I thought they all did.
No, I just like to say it's only you because mine makes a cool sound when I'm drinking out
Oh,
of it.
right, okay.
Indeed.
Okay. I think that pretty much covers most of the specials. Am I missing anything, Josh?
Not that I can recall at the moment. I believe that sounds like it's pretty much everything. But I mean, for anybody who is planning on going to the walk-in store, we are going to have a huge boneyard down there. We're going to have the rabbit hole for the first 200 people. We're going to be doing a mystery box in-store, I believe. I'm not really sure how
Actually, I don't know
far we're
about the
gonna-
mystery box and stuff, but the rabbit hole is something that we probably should clarify because I don't think anybody knows what a rabbit hole is. Sounds kind of naughty, but
Yeah, picture of us on the-
it's essentially like
A box?
a drawing. Yeah, it's a drawing where you can pull off GI bucks, you can pull off guns. We're giving away gear.
Yeah, there's certificates for tactical
Exactly,
gear there.
exactly. There's
We've never
certificates
done
for
that.
Guns and stuff like that. Yeah, normally we just give away GI bucks, but this year we're pulling out all the stops and we're giving away lots of stuff.
Now,
immediately.
do you remember the last big sale we had where some guy won a KWA LM4?
Yes.
Was that the money booth or the
That
rabbit
was
hole?
somebody in the line, actually. Because we completely mixed up all of the guns, or all of the certificates into all the guns, then we split it basically 50-50 into the
Wow.
money booth and then into the rabbit hole. And yeah, one of the kids, I think he was like,
He was just getting into airsoft.
yeah, I think he
And-
was like 60th in line or so. I try to remember, because it was like right around the midway point, give or take. And he was just like, oh, what's an LM4? And everyone was like, you want an LM4? And he was like, is that a really good gun? They're like, hell yeah, it is. He was like, sure. Like, and his dad was right there with him. He's like, dude, you want an LM4? And his son was like, I don't know what's going on right now. Like, he was so stoked to be happy right there. So.
I remember we took a picture of his face and it was priceless.
Yeah,
but,
he was just like,
what's
gleaming
funny,
with the pictures.
What's funny is that like he came there with two buddies and his dad, and I believe his two buddies like each won spring shotguns, and then he won the LM4. So they were coming there to buy stuff. So they, I mean, after that happened, they were like, let's get tactical gear, let's get magazines, let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that was fun.
So definitely make sure if you guys are planning on going down to the walk-in store, you want to be there early. The sale starts at 7 a.m. I'm going to be there at 6, so you guys better get there just as early as me and hang out because I'm going to be quite tired. and need
There's
some
probably
coffee,
going to be
so-
people there
Yeah.
Thursday night. 'Cause
Yeah.
Normally, when we ask the first people in line how long they've been there, they usually say that
Day
they got
before.
there. Yeah, really, really
Well,
early.
if you are planning on going down there, please bring me a coffee. I'll be in full tactical gear. I would really appreciate it. So
yeah,
if
bring some
anybody-
drinks by the sect booth.
Yeah, if you could stop by, that would be great. I'm not saying I have some patches and stuff I could hook you up with, but I might have some patches and stuff I could hook you
So
up
that
with.
is what you were saying.
It's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, there is one in.
We're gonna have to get going real soon.
Okay, but there's one in-store special we haven't mentioned yet.
Correct.
Mention
Okay. All right. So if you purchase, is it over? I think it's over $75 in our walk-in store, and you take that. Jesus, Tim.
That was a ghost.
I'm quietly judging you. Now, that said, if you spend over $75 in our walk-in store and you take that receipt to either Tax City North or Tax City South, you're going to get a free entrance for the day. It's basically a deal we've worked out with Tax City North and South.
That's happening currently. It's not like a season to remember thing.
Yeah, I know, but you know,
Like an
if people aren't aware of it, like it's kind of sucks if they're going to go there and
No, I guess so. Yeah.
yeah.
So save your receipts.
Yeah, so save your receipts if you purchase over $75 at our walk-in store. And if you want to go play, head on to Tax City North or South. They're both great fields with great refs. And yeah, you get a free entrance for that, and it's great. That's where I met Tim. Sadly.
And they've been together ever since.
You love it.
And they've lived happily ever after.
All right. I think we're gonna have to get going. We have some bowlers to bowl over.
Correct.
The three Marketeers.
3 Marketeers.
One for all and all for Tim.
Yeah.
I just came up with that.
Well, guys, for any of you guys who are asking about Q&A, we'll do that
Oh,
next time. I
dang
promise.
it.
I apologize. I did want to get to Q&A, but these long-winded stories ended up lasting a little while. So we'll do Q&A next time. Save your questions, and we'll
Shout-outs,
see you guys
Foxtrot,
soon.
Mitch HD.
Shout out
I'm not going to say for the Timpire.
for the Timpire.
You just said it.
Yes.
You are silly, man.
All right, we're out of here. See you guys next time. Thanks.
I love you too.
America.
All right, cut the Sony cam. Let's get out of here.
All right, sweet.